I just loved it so much that I just didn't think too much about it.
I had a birthday on the set of Suicide. It changed my life.
It felt like nothing I'd done before. It just felt so relaxed.
Such a long-winded thing to like get in the car, jump on Josh, his wig would fall off, then I bit him once.
But yeah, I remember when Josh showed up as Trip with the hair really did it. Which is in our store, yeah. It's in my storage.
I'm having the best time!
Hi, I'm Sofia Coppola, and welcome to Entertainment Weekly's Roundtable. I'm so happy to be here with some of the cast of Virgin Suicides for our 20th anniversary.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Dunst, and I played Lux Lisbon.
I'm Josh Hartnett, and I played Trip Fontaine.
Hi, I'm Hannah Hall, and I played Cecilia.
Hey, I'm Chelsea, and I played Bonnie.
I'm a.j.cook, and I play Mary.
I'm Leslie Heyman, and I played Therese Lisbon.
The trees like lungs filling with air. My sister, the mean one, pulling my hair.
And so we started to learn about their lives, coming to hold collective memories of times we hadn't experienced. We felt the imprisonment of being a girl.
I love that book, and I heard they were going to make a movie of it, and I hope that they didn't mess it up, as that happens sometimes with books that you love. And I just had an idea of how I thought they should make it into a movie. So I thought I would try to learn how to write a screenplay, and I started working on one just as a kind of practice. I thought I would just do a few chapters, but then I got really into it and kept writing, and I felt so attached to it and really had an idea of how I thought it should be as a film. I think I just loved it so much that I just didn't think too much about it. Just had to figure out how to make it. And so we made it for very low budget. So happy that I got this great cast, and everyone was so supportive and helpful to me making my first movie.
Okay, so I met Sofia in Toronto because I was doing a movie there already, and she came up to meet me. And I remember when I read the script, I was a little bit nervous because, I was like making out with all these guys in the script, and I just was like overwhelmed and kind of a young 16-year-old. So it made me nervous. But when I met Sofia, I felt at ease, and I knew that this would be something special because it was her first film. Josh, throw it to you.
I got involved in a very normal Hollywood way, I guess. I auditioned. You cast me, and I didn't meet everyone until I got up there. But I was, hyper vigilant at the time, thinking myself to be like a pretty hot actor, and wanted to read the book before I got there and like be all prepared. And then I got there, and it was like the most calm and inviting arena to do anything. It felt like nothing I'd done before. It just felt so relaxed.
It has sort of like a summer camp atmosphere, I feel like.
It did. I think I turned 20 on the set too. I mean, it was I was 19 years old.
There were a couple birthdays. I think I turned 13 or 14 or something too.
I think I had a birthday too.
Yeah, there were a bunch of us.
I'm acting like I don't remember. Yeah, I had a birthday on the set of Virgin Suicide. It changed my life.
I turned 19 while we were there, which was the drinking age in Canada at the time. And I was like the old one of all the girls.
Oh, no, I remember a lot of birthday cakes at lunch. That's funny. And I'll just say for Leslie, I've known Leslie since she was 4. She was in my first short film, and we grew up together as one of my closest friends' little sister, and so she was always game for being recruited into my projects. You were not pursuing acting, but I said, "Oh, can you just come be one of the sisters?" And she was nice and adventurous and was up for it. And what about you, Chelsea? How did we all get connected?
I auditioned, but you guys had a candy dish. So whenever I kept on doing my part, I kept on sneaking candy out of the dish. And I think I had pink hair. Yeah, I don't really know. Thank you. Thank you for picking me.
I forgot about the fairy wings and the pink hair and glitter.
I like glitter.
I remember I would like come back to the hotel really late, and Chelsea would be leaving the hotel at like midnight with her fairy wings and like sparkled platform boots, and she'd just be going to get some candy.
I forgot.
She'd be like, I'm going to get some candy at the 7-Eleven or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, okay. But like, yeah, full That's how I always remember you, is like those platform boots and
I wore
wings
through those. I had my toes sticking out the end by the time I threw them away.
I had a different experience at the hotel. It was just James Woods trying to give me advice constantly, which was
that's like a book right there, Josh.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
You see, my wife and I have certain rules. They've been the same rules for the older girls, and I can't very well go and change them now for the younger ones. And even if I wanted to, the wife wouldn't let me. True. So, if you want to come over and watch television again, that would be fine. But you cannot take Lux out, especially not in a car. So, I'm sorry, son, that's just our policy.
And AJ, were you based in Toronto? Were you there?
Yeah, I guess I was like the token Canadian girl. I had no clue what I was doing. I was just like wide-eyed, like, ah. All of a sudden I was on a set with Sofia Coppola and like Kirsten, and it was just such a trip. But I was such a nerd. I didn't know what I was doing.
I don't think any of us did.
Oh my gosh, such an amazing experience. Yeah, no, I just auditioned there like everyone else. And I didn't think I was going to get it because I thought, oh, all the sisters will probably be coming from LA. But yeah, the best call I ever got.
When we got there, we all sort of sat around and we had a little acting camp. And it was kind of...
We did laser tag.
Yeah, we did laser tag.
We did do laser tag. Laser tag was kind of scarred me because we did it was like a family bonding experience. So James was there, but James like cornered me. And he was that guy that just kept shooting me and waited until I recharged, and then he would just shoot me again. I'm like, thanks, Dad.
I loved a lot of the dinner scene that we did was really fun. I think that was maybe in the beginning. I really don't remember, but I think we had I just remember that being really fun with having all of us there.
And we tried to shoot it as much as we could in order because I always find that helpful. So I think we did start with the early dinner scenes when that first boy came over, which was fun to watch you guys surround him.
And then I loved shooting the scene up in the tree too. That was a really cool.
For me, the most memorable was the prom or the dance scene because I'm not much of a dancer.
That was fun.
And the like, I'm having the best time. I've been made fun of for a long time for that one from anyone who's ever seen it.
But you pulled it off, Leslie.
Everyone knows what a great dancer I am, and we did it for I feel like it was for 12 hours or something, just like.
That's so funny.
I'm having the best time.
There's so many lines from the movie that are just iconic that all of my friends say. So awesome.
And I always remember the Kirsten attacking Josh with the gum.
Yeah, that was my most memorable for sure. Because you played us music, I had to shut, the lights in the house would go off, right? And then I'd have to run out. It was such a long-winded thing to get in the car, jump on Josh, his wig would fall off. Then I bit him once, I remember. It was just a mess. I was so... After the first week, I was like, okay, I can do this, it's fine. But it was just it was funny.
I forgot about what a pain in the ass wig was, though. It was...
Ugh. I remember you just touch... It's just such a weird...
You did more maintenance to my wig than anyone.
It wasn't a good wig.
Yeah, it wasn't the most... probably not the best quality wig, but it worked.
We tried something else. We tried to do... extensions, and my hair was just too short. You could just see the glue, and it would work now since I've got my non-quarantine cut. But it was very short, and I was cutting my own hair at the time. So
To me, such a big memorable moment is when you make your entrance to Magic Man. I thought maybe we were playing that on set too when you were walking.
You were, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were living the moment. But I remember Ed Lockman, the DP, like pushing the dolly to the music and Josh making his entrance. And it's still one of my favorite moments.
Cold late nights so long ago when I was not so strong, you know. Pretty man came to me, never seen eyes so blue, you know. I could not run away, it seemed. We'd seen each other in a dream. Seemed like he knew me, he looked right through me.
I remember being in screenings early on editing and like, is the movie working? And as soon as Trip Fontaine makes his entrance, I'm like, okay, the audience is with it. It's going to be okay. Like that was always the moment. There's always a moment where you know that the audience is with you, or hopefully they are. And that is always the moment where I felt like, oh, I could relax and like just watch it, because there's something about that moment is when it kind of all kicks in.
It's so much fun from the inside too, because when we're filming it, it doesn't, none of it felt, like I said before, it all felt so natural and none of it felt stilted. And it was just like Josh needed to walk down the hallway and he'd play the music and it was like, just do something funny, you know, do something cool, do something interesting. And I don't know what I did, but it was all, you know, it was always just sort of it felt improvisational. I remember one time, my most memorable moment was on, in that same hallway, I think, after the class with James, where I say I want to take his daughter to prom. And I came out and I was like, pensive or something, and you were like, I need you to do something. I need you to do something. I need you to celebrate a little bit. And I was like, I don't think Trip would celebrate. I think he's too cool for that. And we went back and forth for a little while. And then finally, I think you and James were like, come on, kid, just like, do something. And so we did like a little like, yes, or something like that. And it was so much better, you know, like it was great. Really nice.
I love seeing a little nerdy side of Trip because always so cool.
I also really liked shooting that scene we did in the basement. You know, like the boy-girl party in the basement. It was so awkward and so uncomfortable, and it just, automatically took me back to those days of the basement parties. And I don't know, like what Josh was saying, you just like, you nailed it, because it was almost like we were all still in that place. It's like, oh, we were filming that. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like we were just experiencing it. And then at the end of it, we had this movie. It was like, oh shit, someone was filming that, you know? And I think that really comes across in the movie. It's so nostalgic and just like those nerves of being that age. But I really felt it in the basement because I went to a lot of basement parties growing up, and I was just
awkwardness.
Yeah, super awkward.
I think it helped that you guys were close to that age. I mean, everyone was close to that age. Yeah, that was a pet peeve for me. I never understood why growing up the teenagers in movies look like, I mean, like in Greece, they're all like in their 30s. They never look like teenagers in our real life or at school. So I didn't relate to them very often. And I think there's such a huge difference between a 15-year-old and a 20-year-old. And so because the story was really about that moment, I wanted to try to really, capture what that looks and feels like. So I was glad. It just seemed obvious that you have actors that are at, the same age of the characters.
No, I was going to say that's what makes Sofia's movies so special, is because she creates a vibe where you're just immersed immediately into like this energy and world that's unlike anyone else. And that's, I think, what makes a great filmmaker.
Thank you. I think of it as like a party. You set up the atmosphere, make everyone comfortable, and then hopefully let them do their thing.
In my experience, that's not an easy thing to pull off, though. I mean, just over the years doing a lot of independent film, it's almost impossible to give like the actors that sense of being totally isolated and in the world of the film. Like and we did it on streets. We did it on street corners. I remember sitting outside of the main house and we had the whole block pretty much to ourselves. And it was a tiny budget, and how you pulled that off, and we kind of all felt free to be relaxed and sitting out on the lawn and talking to Chris, and then going in and doing a scene and just sort of, you know, giving each other a high five on the way in and out of the house where the film was actually being filmed, and it was very relaxed, very cool.
Yeah, I always think it's definitely like a special experience, because some movies you might even be staying in the same hotel as everyone, but you don't really ever get that connection. And every once in a while you just have like a movie where there's like a community and a camaraderie, and it's really special. And that was definitely one of those movies.
The look of it too, I mean, it was instantly like recognizable, I think, in culture directly afterward. You know, like a lot of movies sort of tried to replicate the look, and I think it was influential even at the time. I felt like it was kind of instantly really well thought of by everyone I knew who knew anything about film.
Well, I think just like the dreamy aspect of it, and the way it was that Sofia filmed it, and it really just struck a really deep chord in people's psyches. You know, I think when people more our age, our generation talk about it, and, you know, younger people talk about it, they all kind of have like it's a very defining film for them.
One of my castmates from the show I did, he was obsessed with it. Like, he found out that I was joining the cast. I don't know if you know Matthew Gray Gubler. He's obsessed with this movie, and he fangirled so hard over the virgin suicides, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Mary's joining our cast." But he's like NYU film student. Like, he gets it. He definitely gets it.
Yeah, the book was a memory of the boys looking back, so I wanted it to feel like that. So it had that kind of through time and a memory dream. You know.
And then there was a unicorn on set for the part where
Roman shot that. My brother shot that.
And I was like, wait, there was a unicorn? Like, you're like, that was like 3 hours ago. We already did that.
I forgot about that.
She'd wake up at 5 in the morning and hang out casually on the front steps, like it wasn't completely obvious. She wrote his name in marker on all her bras and underwear, and Mom found them and bleached out all the Kevins. Lex was crying on her bed all day.
We've said before, the whole tone and vibe was very alive, and the energy between everyone was very much there, and that created something special. It doesn't always happen. And I feel like Sofia's so good at casting a chemistry of people. I think casting is often what messes up things, and it was just a perfect, like, peppering of people together that made this, you know, vibrate together, I think.
I always think it helps to shoot in a real location too. I mean, we did a little bit on stage, but like just being in that house, and you guys were really all in that bedroom together with pillows and shag carpet, and I feel like, I don't know, girls know that you're just like, okay, you're hanging out. Everyone knows what it's like to be hanging out in your room with your friends or whatever. So
I remember when we were shooting one of those scenes, we were all just kind of like hanging out, and I love that you like captured like tiny little moments of things. Like, I remember it was like, I had a bottle of nail polish, and Ed, that was his name, right? Yeah. I remember he was watching what I was doing with the nail polish, and I was kind of like swirling it around. He was like, do that again. Like, he caught those little moments of like stupid things that girls do, like the way they put on nail polish or, you know, whatever. So
yeah, I feel like it's all those details.
And I'm sure for Ed, it was an exotic foreign look.
So this is how they put on nail polish.
I loved my costumes. I love my Dr. Scholl's. I think I bought some afterwards. These are so cool. It was like going to the best vintage store and finding the best outfit, my clothes.
I loved your prom dresses.
Yeah, I love my wedding dress too.
Again, though, everybody looked really cool. I mean, I remember it being like really immersive, just seeing everybody on set completely dressed perfectly.
It was easy to get lost in that time and space, just because everything just looked so right.
That stuff tastes really good. I don't want any, thanks.
Come on, just a taste. tiny taste.
Don't be such a goody-goody.
I have such good memories of the shoot and making Virgin Suicides, and it being my first film, and being nervous and not really knowing if I knew how to do it, and just having everyone's support. And I remember going forward filming later on, I always thought back of how everyone was there and helped me in a way that like no other experience. The fact that we made something that people who like the book still can connect to means a lot to me.
Just the fact that it's been over 20 years is just mind-blowing. Virgin Suicides is that experience that I keep finding myself chasing, It's like this amazing experience that it was so collective and such a learning experience for me, that I want to have another experience like that. And it's that thing that it's like, oh, it's never gonna really quite be like that again, but it was just the most perfect experience for that place and time.
I always felt like I was like more grown up than the other girls when I showed up there in Toronto, and it was like I had all these little sisters. Okay, here's Kirsten.
And I said something that, wait, Leslie, I remembered saying to me, like, you better appreciate that body because it's not going to last. Because I had some scene laying out in a bathing suit. She's like, appreciate this now. I was like, I didn't get it, and now I do.
It was just like, like summer camp and hanging out with lots of kids in a big hotel, and it was fun to be there with like Sofia and all our other friends that were working on the movie.
I think it was sort of the beginning of me finding confidence as an adult, and so like everything's changed since then. It's been 20, almost 22 years. We were saying earlier since we shot it, and that's just, that's so many lifetimes. It's absolutely insane. But it was a transformative experience for me, and I've always said, if anyone cares to ask, like it's probably my favorite filming experience. So
just the effect that this movie has had on a lot of people is like a pretty remarkable thing to be a part of.
To be part of a movie that like would be my favorite movie during that age is like, so you couldn't ask for more, I don't think. And having you direct that and be seen that way through your vision was like a very protective and beautiful bubble that I don't think many actresses get to be a part of.
Oh, that's nice.
We had fun. We had a lot of fun.
This has been Entertainment Weekly's Around the Table. We've been talking about the Virgin Suicides 20 years later. Thanks for watching.